Hello to all our audience tuning into our channel. We're so glad to have you with us. Stay tuned for exciting content. Let's get started. Detective Harvey Bullock and Jim Gordon are on the scene, piecing together the puzzle from the clues available. The absence of personal belongings, such as a wallet or watch, raises suspicion. With Edward Nygma's analysis, the theory that the victim was moved post-mortem becomes clear. The defensive wounds suggest a struggle, a fight against a fate that sadly resulted in a fatal injury. The victim's attire hints at his profession, indicating he might have worked in finance. The detectives lean towards the possibility of a failed kidnapping, a conflict that escalated to murder, and the body being relocated adds a layer of complexity to the case. The tense atmosphere in the room is palpable as the Falcone and Maroney families hash out their delicate negotiation. The exchange of gifts, like the brooch, signals a gloss of civility over the simmering tensions. Don Maroney's camp lays out clear terms that allow them to retain their lucrative drug operations and unions in exchange for paying port tariffs to Falcone, who holds the upper hand with his political clout. Their mutual control over Arkham Asylum is a testament to their entwined influence, but the no-bloodshed policy hints at fragile peace. The rise of the Penguin is a change in the balance of power. Once a mere umbrella carrier, his presence at the negotiation table signals his ascent in the criminal underworld. Yet past betrayals cast a shadow over the proceedings, with Maroney's barely contained anger towards the Penguin serving as a reminder that peace hangs by a thread. Falcone's desire for peace is the only thing staying Maroney's hand, highlighting the intricate web of allegiances and grudges that dictate Gotham's underworld dynamics. There's an unspoken understanding. Peace is fragile, and alliances can shift in an instant. This scenario paints a vivid picture of the internal conflict Bruce Wayne faces as a boy dealing with the aftermath of his parents' murder. Being thrust back into a school environment challenges him to navigate social norms and interactions that feel out of place and trivial compared to his trauma. Alfred's insistence on social interaction aims to provide Bruce with a sense of normalcy, yet it clashes with Bruce's unique emotional and psychological state, making it difficult for him to reintegrate. The pressure to act normal while feeling anything but reveals a lot about Bruce's early struggles with identity and coping, setting the stage for his path towards becoming Batman. His classmates' insensitive question about the murder further alienates him, illustrating how out of sync he feels with his peers. The chapter you've described presents a rich tapestry of crime investigation and character development. Gordon and Bullock's inquiry into Coleman Lawson's death paints a picture of a young man caught in the crossfire of Gotham's murky underbelly. His mother's portrayal of him adds a layer of complexity and tragedy to the case, highlighting the stark contrast between his ambitions and his untimely demise. The discovery of the severed thumb indicates a darker, more violent thread to unravel, hinting at the possible involvement of the city's notorious criminal elements or underground medical practices. The subplot, delving into Gordon's isolation within the Gotham City Police Department, offers a sharp critique of the entrenched corruption and moral decay within the force. His colleagues' avoidance and the resulting resentment symbolize the internal battle between integrity and complicity that Gordon must navigate. His loneliness and the sense of betrayal feed into his larger struggle to maintain his principles in a system that seems designed to crush them. The narrative highlights the contrasting ways familial themes are employed in the characters' lives. Fish Mooney's manipulation of Liza to get close to Falcone exemplifies the cunning use of trust and emotional connection as weapons. Fish sees maternal affection as a means to an end, using Liza's role to destabilize Falcone and gain power. Liza's uncertainty about her identity reflects the complex roles people play in the web of Gotham's criminal underworld. Gordon and Bullock's investigation into Richard Sionis uncovers a disturbing connection between his warrior-obsessed ideology and the violent death of Coleman Lawson. Sionis' fixation on masks and warrior culture serves as a metaphor for his belief that such symbols allow one's true nature to emerge, a twisted rationale he uses to justify his violent tendencies. Gordon's confrontation with Sionis exposes the latter's psychological instability and sinister philosophy, where business is intertwined with combat, and challenges to his authority are met with lethal force. His disdain for traditional business competition and admiration for actual combat demonstrates a dangerous mindset that sees individuals as expendable pawns in his warped game. Overall, this chapter solidifies Sionis as a prime suspect, whose extreme beliefs and violent inclinations form a compelling motive for murder, particularly against those who dare to resist his oppressive corporate culture. The dynamic between Jim Gordon and Barbara in this chapter exemplifies the profound impact Gordon's work has on his personal life. The constant danger and moral dilemmas he faces as a law enforcement officer inevitably strain his relationship with Barbara. Her sense of safety is eroded by threats like those from Victor Zsasz, leading to her decision to leave and request Gordon to leave behind his gun. The symbolism of the gun underscores her desire for a life free from violence, but it also represents Gordon's steadfast commitment to his duty and principles. Edward Nygma's discovery of the unusual use of office supplies as murder weapons hints at a highly inventive serial killer. Though initially dismissed, Nygma's detailed investigation skills have led to reevaluating the case, uncovering a more intricate pattern of crimes that suggest this is part of a series of killings rather than a standalone act. His analysis could open new avenues for investigators, ultimately shifting the direction of the case to hunt the serial killer. This scene plays a significant role in Bruce Wayne's character arc. When Bruce confronts Tommy Elliot, it highlights his willingness to respond to injustice with violence. This reaction signals a transition from a grieving child to a young man starting to channel his anger into action, shaping his future as a vigilante. Alfred's intervention and subsequent support reinforce his role as a guiding figure in Bruce's life. Despite the violent nature of the confrontation, Alfred treats Bruce with pride, showing approval of Bruce's actions and the path he appears to be embarking on. Offering pizza as a reward might seem lighthearted, but it underscores Alfred's support and a tacit acknowledgement of Bruce's emerging methods of dealing with his inner turmoil. This interaction lays the groundwork for Bruce's complex character, torn between seeking justice and teetering on the edge of darkness. It marks the inception of his reputation, not just as a wealthy heir, but as someone not to be trifled with, laying a foundation for his eventual persona as Batman. This scenario is filled with intense and dark themes, highlighting a twisted and highly unethical interpretation of corporate culture. Richard Sionis' recruitment process, where job seekers compete with deadly office supplies, is a perversion of the survival of the fittest mentality, taking it to a violent and extreme level. The setting and the actions within it reveal the character's psychopathic tendencies and the corruption of values for material gain. Jim Gordon's attempt to impose order by identifying himself as a police officer suggests a conflict between maintaining law and order and the desperate temptation offered by the $1 million bonus. This narrative presents an exaggerated and sinister take on the dark side of capitalism, where extreme competition leads to moral decay and violence. It's a grim reminder of the need for ethical practices and humanity in business and society. In this narrative, Bullock steps up as a leader to rally the Gotham City Police Department, GCPD, to rescue their comrade, Jim Gordon, who's in a dire situation. Despite initial reluctance from his fellow officers, Bullock's passionate speech chains them into action by highlighting their fear and disloyalty. It demonstrates his belief in loyalty and brotherhood, crucial values in law enforcement. Furthermore, his actions serve as a turning point for other characters who initially resisted, like Alvarez and Collins, who ultimately join the rescue. Fish Mooney's complex plan against Falcone showcases her ambition and desire for control. By using Liza to get close to Falcone, she exploits her tragic past to fuel her pursuit of revenge. Penguin's discovery of Fish's secret creates a tense conflict as loyalties are questioned and alliances are tested. Fish's manipulation of Liza reveals her determination to reclaim power, even if it means operating within the corrupt system that caused her suffering. The episode's conclusion sets the stage for intriguing character developments ahead. With the resolution of the Sionis case, Gordon's relentless pursuit of justice puts him at odds with the corruption in Gotham, even causing concerns from his partner Bullock. Introducing Selina Kyle back into the mix hints at fresh complications in Gordon's life. Meanwhile, Bruce's confession to Alfred and their decision to train together clearly marks the beginning of Bruce's journey towards becoming a vigilante, with Alfred stepping into the role of a mentor. This sets the foundation for the iconic Batman-Alfred relationship. Altogether, these plot points promise an exciting evolution in the characters' stories.